What is up, guys? It is the Citrus Penny here today. Today I'm coming at you with a review for episode 17 of season 2 of Haikyuu. Let's do this. Alright, so again, it's getting a little bit hard to do the finger movements, but if I was going by actual episodes, I'd be on something like 40 something, so I'd be making tons of hand signs. But anyway, the episode 17 is actually pretty good. I actually enjoyed it, but many people might not enjoy it as much. I think that this is one of those episodes that kind of shows why I like Haikyuu a lot as a show and why it's just really good. So, most of the episode wasn't even action-oriented or anything else. It was actually the short backstory of a character that we had seen a couple of times but never really cared about him really that much, or I didn't really. I'm assuming most viewers didn't really, because, I mean, you see some of the side characters and they come in for like a little bit here and there, but you never really care about them because, you know, they're not the main cast. They don't normally play on the team. But, Ennoshita, or Ennoshita, whatever his name is, I'm bad at pronouncing Japanese names because I don't speak the language, but this guy, he comes in because Daichi-san, at the end of the last episode, I was making some crazy predictions about what might happen to him. I knew most of them weren't going to be right, because if Daichi-san wasn't in it, then it would just not make sense, and they'd probably lose a lot, because he's like a really big backbone of the team, but I'll get to that later. He's down for the count for now. He's just, like, bleeding from the lip. He lost a tooth, and he apparently doesn't have a concussion, we learned at the end, so, I mean, that's good, because if he had a concussion, he'd probably be out for a long time, but no concussion, so he's in pain and whatever. So he's good. He's going to be in the next game, against the next team, rather. So not the next game, as in, like, against Wakunon, like in the next, there's usually, I'm pretty sure it works like this. There's, like, it's like a best out of 3, basically. Like, you play a game, you play a set to 25, then you play a set to 25, and if the team wins both of those, then the team wins, but if they tie 1-1, then you play one more set. I don't know. I'm assuming that's how it works, because I mean, I'm not like a huge volleyball expert, but I feel like I should know about this, because I'm a reviewer of like 17 episodes of this anime, but it's okay. Anywho, they sub in Ennoshita, and he actually does decently well. He kind of adapts to the captain role right away, and we see that his short backstory is kind of about him being almost like sort of a coward, but not really, more of just like running away. You know, he thought practice was really hard, and him and a lot of the other first years at the time just decided, yeah, I'm not going to show up. But he realized that once you remove that from his life, there's not a lot to do, probably. Like, like, if you do something for a while, and he was talking about shortly like the junior high kind of thing, so if you did it throughout middle school or whatever, and then you get to high school, do the actual, grade higher, then I'm not really sure, what you would do with your time. Because like, for instance, I play a lot of video games in my free time. So if I just made the decision one day that I was going to be done playing video games for whatever reason, I would have a lot of free time. And maybe I could do other things in that free time, but then I'd eventually get to the point like where, this is kind of boring. I'm gonna play some games. That's kind of like what he got like. And I thought that was interesting to kind of have that. It made him seem like a cool character. I think it fleshed out his backstory a little bit. And he's just the kind of guy that's like not going to be like the best volleyball player. He does make a couple plays, like one play in this episode. But he's basically just there to try. He's kind of like 60% of what Daichi-san would be. He's kind of almost more like the mentality aspect rather than the actual skill aspect, because he's not near as good as him, skill-wise. But he can kind of try to make people less nervous. Towards the end, we see Yamaguchi, who actually joins in, it's kind of weird that they subbed him in. The coach, Ukai-san, he was saying that Tsukishima was going to be subbed out, and they did. They subbed Tsukishima out whenever it was his turn to serve. So Tsukishima, I don't think we've seen him serve in a while, but I'm assuming that his serve in general is weak. Like, he's not a good server because for whatever reason, he's just not good. He's good at blocking, he's sometimes good at hitting or whatever, but no, he's not, serving isn't his thing. So they sub in Yamaguchi, he's really nervous, he does a play, or he does a serve rather, and he actually gets it over the net and gets a point. The next one, instead of going like risky again with the jump serve sort of thing going on, instead he goes like for a regular serve, because I actually think this is a calculated risk. I think this is good because the other serve maybe had like a 75% chance to actually make it over the net. Like it was a 75% chance that he could actually hit it over the net, and then it was like maybe like an 80% chance that the enemy team couldn't hit it. Maybe I'm just throwing numbers out there. And then the second serve that he did was like a safer one, so it was like 100% that he was going to get it over the net, but it was probably like a 10% chance that the enemy team was actually going to miss it. So I think that's like a calculated risk. It's kind of like if you're ever doing a test in school and there's like 4 questions and it's multiple choice and you have no idea, you just put the same one for each one so that you get one right. You know, it kind of counts your losses because you have no idea what you're doing anyway, so you might as well. And that's that. I'm just making analogies here, but anyway. So that was really interesting. We got to see a couple characters that we never really saw. Yamaguchi kind of nervous, kind of, acting. I don't really want to call him a coward, but he called himself that. So I guess I can throw it out there. And yeah, it was an interesting episode. It was cool to see some of the characters that we don't get to see very often. At the very end, though, we get to see Shira Torizawa, and they're facing whatever opponent they're facing. Not important because they're gonna win anyway. And they're up pretty high in points, and then Oba Josai is shown very shortly, and Oikawa is talking about how about Karasuno is probably feeling, I don't know how he worded it, but he's basically saying they're probably feeling the effect of not having their captain, and they definitely are, because at the very last scene in the show, we see that it's I think Wakunon is up 18, and then Karasuno is 12. I think they have like 12 or 14. I think 14. So they're down 4 points, which is actually quite a bit. Look at it this way, like, the first person to 25 doesn't necessarily win. I'm pretty sure you have to win by 2 points. That's how a lot of games like that work. I'm pretty sure badminton works like that. So, like, to actually win, you have to get to 25 and actually lead by points. So, like, if, for instance, the score was, like, 18-16, it's a lot closer, because if they hit that 2-2, and even if the person got 25 and Karasuno has 23, the game would keep going. And that's how it works. And maybe I should brush up on my volleyball knowledge, but who cares? And, yeah, so I don't know what my possibly a prediction that I have is that they might lose this second set, but then Daichi comes back for the third one against Wakunon. Alternatively, they just win this one, and they go on to face the next opponent. They could flat out lose both of them, but don't think that's going to happen. But yeah, I'm going to go with the fact that they might lose the second one, and then they're going to come back in the third one and actually win. So that's what I'm going to go with, but it could happen anyway. I mean, this is Karasuno. They're probably going to make a big comeback and get ready to win. So, at the end of the day, I thought this episode was good. Lots of good backstory. Lots of good stuff going on. Made some predictions. Hopefully they come true. Maybe not. I like making those bold predictions like I've said in the past. And sometimes they're right, sometimes they're wrong, but it just depends. Till next time, guys. See you all